So Ricky, to start off with, how have you settled into life at Bristol Rovers?
Yeah, it's been an eventful few weeks. Obviously, real disappointed at the end of the season to get relegated, but we needed to really just build on that moment to say, right, well, rebuild starts now, and absolutely delighted to have Darrell sitting next to me as our new head coach.
Yeah, new head coach, Darrell. Why did you think that he was the right man going forward?
Well, I think when we got to the end of the season, we had a really thorough football review. We reviewed all the football operations, that's all the data, that's all the key milestones of what's gone on in the season. And obviously to the eye, we could see that there's been lots of disappointment. But then when you need to then build about what do we need to take to rebuild the club and what do we need to take to help us going forward, we then put a process in place and we interviewed several candidates, and got to say Darrell's always our number one target, and he came out on top in so many areas.
And Darrell, how positive were those early conversations with Ricky, especially to make you want to come here?
Yeah, I think first of all, when I met Ricky, you want to feel a chemistry. You want to chat football, see where the alignments are, see if you seem to be on the same page. And pretty early enough, I found that with Ricky. He's a footballing guy like myself. He says it how it is, exactly like myself. And for me, it's just that start of a new era that kicks us moving forward. I think it's in this day and age now. There's directors of football, and I've worked with a few directors of footballs, and some have worked, some haven't worked. But I feel my early conversations with Ricky, and obviously a lot more conversations that we've had over the last week or so, is we're building in the right direction, and that's important because we're in charge of the football operations of the football club. We've got a big job on our hands. We understand the work we've got to do, but we're doing that together as a team. But we're in charge of that, and I think it's. I know the gasheads and what they're like. They'll judge us from now. We can't control what's happened in the past. We can't control that. All we can do is be positive moving forward, and we've had a lot of conversations, a lot of work me and Ricky are doing now to make sure that we get the backroom team, the recruitment right, and making sure that we're in a real good place come the start of the season.
Well, you mentioned it a bit there, but how important is the cohesion between the both of you?
Yeah, listen, very, very much so, and it's vital, but it has to be a relationship where we challenge each other, we test each other. I can tell you now, we're not yes men, and that don't bring a healthy relationship. We're here to do the best for the football club. We're custodians of the football club. I said it here in my first spell. We're custodians. We're here to do the best for the supporters of this football club and to bring success on the pitch. Okay, so with that, there needs to be challenges. There need to be interaction. There need to be really deep conversations and getting the right solutions to the problems that we share together. So it's vital that you do that. And my past experiences tell me, in the success I've had at football clubs, is that relationship's really healthy when you're challenging each other and pushing each other to get the right results for the football club.
Yeah, Ricky, the previous season's only just finished, but how much work is going into the new campaign?
Yeah, loads of work at the moment, and a bit like what Darrell said, our conversations, we've been on the same page on so many aspects, and that's something that I'm really excited about working. But like what Darrell said there as well, we're going to check and challenge each other, and we're going to help each other. So I'm going to be working with a lot of the support staff, all the departments, and the operational side at the training ground. And then together, we're going to be really working on the recruitment. So we wanted to work on the staff, and that's been a big objective. It's now about players, and we're now moving to that exciting phase now, rebuilding the squad. We would have seen that there's been lots of decisions made on players on retain and release at the end of last season, and that's been put to bed now. And now we need to start bringing the future player to come and represent this wonderful football club.
You mentioned the staff there. How important is it getting the right backroom staff for Darrell?
It's all about people. So whether it's about players, whether it's about staff, everyone at this football club has a part to play, from the stadium to the training ground, and also the supporters. We all need to be aligned. We all need to get behind each other. So we want the best quality people, and we want the best type of person that can come here and deliver and ensure that we're preparing the team to get the best result every week.
And you mentioned decisions on players already that have already been done. How important was it to get it done really early?
I think hopefully the supporters out there will see the way we're going to work going forward. We need to review things quickly. We don't want to sit and dally over things. We need to, once a decision's been made, we'll make that decision and then we'll move on. And that also, it just gives us enough time then to support people and to bring in the new players, the new staffing structure, whatever that will be. So any decisions going forward, it won't be rash. It will be done in a methodical way. We'll review things, we'll review it, evaluate it, discuss it, and then once the decision's made, that'll be final, and then we'll move on to the next one.
I'll ask a similar question to you, Darrell. How important was it to get a lot of the work done early, a lot of the decisions moving into the next season?
I don't think they were particularly hard decisions because we failed as a football club. We know, and everyone has to take accountability for that. I think when you go down and you get relegated, it's not just one thing. Why you get relegated is numerous things that come into that one big picture. Because listen, no disrespect, there's no way this club should have been relegated, in my opinion, with the resources that was given to it. But it's happened, you know, and I think that accountability has to be had, and the changes have to be made. It's as simple as that, and there'll be more changes. We're both aligned to understand that I know exactly what a Bristol Rovers player should look like. I know exactly what the fans expect from a Bristol Rovers player, and that's where we'll be aligned to make sure that we get those right players in that perform and honour the football club how we want it to be done, and that's key. And so decisions have been probably a bit easier when you've gone down because it needed a blowtorch. I'll put it, use my language. It needs a bit of a blowtorch, and we need to freshen the place up to get a winning mentality into the club.
Ricky, Darrell mentioned it there, but he knows what a Bristol Rovers player looks like. So how much are we going to lean on him for the recruitment side?
It's about working with people, that collaborative approach. The recruitment team do a lot of great work behind the scenes, watching games and putting data and reports together, and collectively we'll discuss that. And we've all got different skill sets. So I've got some experiences of working at different football clubs, and that's certainly going to help me going forward. So it's certainly not a one-man-fits-all type approach. It's going to be a collaborative, but then we're going to have to make some good decisions, some quick decisions to ensure we get the right players into this football club. And Darrell's experience to know what it takes and what it looks like to be a Bristol Rovers player is going to play a big part in that.
And what are your ambitions for Bristol Rovers in the following season and the future as well?
Yeah, we will have some expectation, we'll have some standard, we'll have some targets that we will discuss and we'll keep within the training ground, to be honest. It's nothing we're going to put out there at the moment because collectively we know what we want it to look like next season, and we hopefully the fans and the supporters and everyone will see that and see the work that we're doing behind the scenes is to enable that we are as successful as we can be on the pitch.
And yeah, this work behind the scenes, it seems like now everything is going in the right direction. So is there a feeling of excitement really between the both of you?
Yeah, the energy at the training ground is really good already, and that's without all the players being on site and all the staff. You can feel it already. There's a real sea change, a real change of momentum, and that's something that's going to be driven by myself and Darrell. We're leaders here, and we've got to be at the front, and we're going to inspire, motivate, and really try and engage everyone to get on this journey, because it's going to be a hell of a journey, and we're going to ensure that we maximise everything we've got in the building, maximise everything we do at the stadium to ensure we get the best success for the club.
So finally, Darrell, a big journey, a big challenge, but something that really excites everyone here as well.
Yeah, listen, I enjoy pressure. You know, I some people say never go back. I don't agree with it. For me, he's built a legacy first time around. I apologise for the last year in charge because that was a disaster. To be honest with you, I understood why that went wrong, and I blame myself for that. But you know, we had 4 fantastic years, in my opinion, and now it's building a second legacy. You know, I'm desperate to finish what I call unfinished business in here. So that's going to be the task in hand. That's what we're going to be working hard to achieve. Does that come easy? No. Does it heck? It's easy to say we want promotion, we want to get competing to try and get in the championship. It's all easy to say, but the proof's always in the pudding. And what we will be doing and what I can promise our supporters is that we'll be giving absolutely everything to bring success back to the football club. They deserve that. And you do that by getting everybody to buy into that, which we'll be doing with our staff, with our players, and then hopefully everybody follows. Because if they're not, they won't be staying on the journey too long.